Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special January 22nd edition of the Hughes Sports Podcast. I am
Easy for you to say.
I am your host, of course, Jake Hughes, alongside the old man. Old man, how the hell are you doing today?
I am doing freaking amazing. Did you see? We always talk about the weather when we first log on. Did you see the forecast for the next week?
No, I don't trust them.
It's
At this
supposed
point,
to be above zero all week.
I don't trust them.
Plus 15 by the weekend.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all in any way, shape, or form.
Huge show. Huge show today.
Just for those watching down in the States, we might have a few more American viewers. That is 59 degrees Fahrenheit when we get to plus 15 Celsius.
And it was minus 40.
Which is, at that point, it's the exact same. It doesn't matter. Minus 40 is minus 40. But you've had a very busy weekend.
You think?
This started, when did you message me originally about this? This was Thursday?
Wednesday, Thursday. I think I found out about it Wednesday or Thursday, and I kind of went, there's got to be something. That's past the Hughes smell test.
Well, and the Hughes smell quite a bit. We've got big noses. Big noses. We smell a lot. We don't stink. We smell a lot.
Yeah. So anyways, I reached out to a couple people, 3 or 4 different people in the industry, and kind of asked their opinion. And literally everybody I talked to went, "What?
Yeah,
that can't be right." So I thought, okay, well, I've heard it from one person. I need to get verification for it. So what we're talking about, folks, is Arland Bruce IV. He originally signed a contract. They announced it December 18th on CFL.ca. And he was supposed to be a 2-year contract with the Edmonton Elks. And like I say, I found out last week the commissioner's office, and I'm saying the commissioner's office because I would think that's the level it would go to. Someone in the CFL voided the contract with Arland Bruce IV. So I started doing some digging, and I was like, wow, this just doesn't smell right. There is a backstory to it. We'll get to it in a minute because we have a very, very special guest. I reached out to Mr. Arland Bruce III, and through him, I was able to reach out to Arland Bruce IV. Actually, I posted something on Twitter, and Arland IV messaged me, and I was like, okay, here's a great opportunity to actually get it from the person's direct voice. So without further ado, let's bring in Mr. AB4. We've had his dad on the show in the past, so now we are privileged to have AB4. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
We're doing good.
Hey, it's supposed to be plus degree weather here. Apparently it's going to be great.
That's awesome. I was just in Iowa. It was negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know if that is Celsius.
See, we got down. It was minus 40 here in Calgary, which is the same in Fahrenheit as it is in Celsius. They meet at that point. Wow.
Yeah, too cold.
I have no room to complain then at all.
It's so cold. I once saw a dog frozen to a fire hydrant.
Yeah, that's a different level of cold.
That's too cold. Anyways, it's warming up. We didn't invite AB4 on to talk about the weather. But he is down in Texas, so he has no clue. No clue at all. His dad got hit by a big snowstorm down in Vancouver, so that was kind of cool. I laughed because I'm from Vancouver originally. I grew up there.
They don't know how to deal with snow there.
Snow, I just giggle. Anyways, AB4, tell us about yourself. Where did you go to high school?
So I went to Olathe North High School in Olathe, Kansas. And then I ended up graduating from Ankeny High School in Ankeny, Iowa, because of COVID. That's why I ended up transferring for my senior year of high school.
Oh, gotcha. You were right in that middle of COVID, eh?
Yes, sir. Senior
Wow.
year. Senior
So
year football season.
I was gonna say, how did that affect your football season in Iowa?
So in Olathe, it affected it because they were talking about canceling the season, and then I thought about how I was graduating early to go to the University of Iowa, and I didn't want to have a year off of not playing football and just sitting there. So because I knew I wanted to go play early at Iowa. So I mean, I talked to some boys who were committed at Iowa. My boy Brody Brecht, he's actually about to get drafted in the MLB. He played football and baseball.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and he was like, "Yeah, we're having a season for sure." So I made the move, and it happened, and I
Nice.
graduated from there.
Now, when was it? Like, how old were you when you realized this is what I want to do? I mean, obviously, we all know your dad. Anybody who's watching the show knows who AB3 is. He had a great Hall of Fame career here in the CFL. When did you realize? I mean, obviously, you watched your dad play, but how old were you when you went, I want to do that too?
I'd say probably 5 or 6 years old. I mean, I've been playing football since I was 5 or 6, and I first played tackle football in like first or second grade. So I've known for a while. All my whole Bruce side, whole family tree went to Olathe North, played football. So that was my dream growing up.
Wow, 5 or 6 years old,
Yes,
and you
sir.
had your mindset, this is what I'm going to do. That's to
Yes,
me at 5 or 6. I was still picking my nose and probably smelling it. He's like,
sir.
I had
I
no
was
idea.
too, but I was playing football while doing it.
See, we don't have that kind of passion up here for football the way you guys do down in the US. Up here at 5 or 6, people are skating
Hockey.
and playing hockey,
Yeah, yeah.
and they want to play in the NHL. Now, only less than 1% of people who play hockey make the NHL. I'm sure that stat is probably even smaller down in the States for people who make it to a pro level, whether that be the NFL or move up to Canada and play in the CFL or the numerous other leagues that keep popping up all over in the spring.
Exactly.
Um, so then you went to you graduated out of Iowa
Yes, sir. Ankeny, Iowa.
and then you went to University of Iowa, did you not?
Yes, sir. In January 2021.
Nice. Now I know you had a pretty darn good couple years there, because I wrote about it and I looked it up. What were your stats there? Do you have them off? Do you know your stats off the top of your head?
I'd say my sophomore year wasn't very good, but I'd say my true freshman year, just going in there, and I didn't get to play until like week 5. I had probably 200 receiving yards total, and I had 4 total touchdowns, and
Nice.
three rushing, 1 receiving. But sophomore year wasn't my best year. I had less catches, had 19 catches, and I don't even think I had 200 yards. But that's a part of it. But
You
I
got
think
you got to
I
get
put
on the
out some.
field.
Yeah, I think I put out some good tape when I had the ball in my hands, and every time I got the ball in my hands, I made a play. I also played in the backfield a little bit too.
Oh, right on, right on. So then we're going to kind of skip over what happened. We're going to go back to it. I'm doing this on purpose. The Edmonton Elks came a knocking on your door at one point. Explain what happened there.
Yes, sir. So I was at Oklahoma State with the whole situation that happened. I don't know if you want me to touch on that now, or we
Yeah,
can.
touch on it now. Let's touch on it
Okay.
now. What happened?
Okay. So yeah, I was about 18, 19 years old, and my cousin had a DraftKings account, and me and then a group of guys, like multiple guys, 4 to 5 guys, will log in and just put bets in. And then because my email was linked with the DraftKings account, the NCAA just said this whole account is going towards your name. So every single thing on that account went towards my name. So I mean, this happened. I had already transferred to Oklahoma State in January of 2023. Um, Tried to play there. I was excited to play there. They throw the ball a lot. Was gonna,
Yeah.
I feel like, play a crucial role in their offense and their RPOs and quick game and just everything that they do. But I want to say in May, I had like an FBI agent, a Oklahoma cop, and an Iowa cop come to my door in May, and they had a warrant for my phone.
Oh, geez.
And I never got the phone back. So they had a warrant for my phone, questioned me for a long time, and then that was that. And then fast forward to about August. I was doing fall camp the first week, and then boom, I find out on Twitter that I was charged with underage gambling through
Okay,
Twitter.
let's stop there. You
Okay.
found out on Twitter that
Yeah.
you've been charged. You didn't get a phone call, you didn't get a
No.
letter, they didn't serve
No.
you, they didn't knock on your door.
Yeah. So got my phone ticket in May, and then fast forward to August, or no, it might have been July. It might have been July.
Okay.
But I mean, I found out through Twitter like I got charged with underage gambling, and I read it right before I go into the weight room to lift. And I'm like, oh wow, like this does not look good. This is gonna blow up. So I go into
Yeah.
the weight room, and then within 10 minutes, my receiver coach comes in there and he pulls me to the side. He's like, yeah, like we just saw what was posted on Twitter. Like we're gonna talk to you, but like right now, you know what I'm saying, you can't be with us. But they were cool about it. You know, they showed love, and I hate to even bring it to them, but yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And then um, after like waiting to hear from the NCAA and guys who are further along in the process than me, they were trying to file for an appeal from the NCAA after losing eligibility. So the next step in the process would be to file for an appeal, which goes to a
Right.
different board of people in the NCAA. And some of those guys were getting denied. So I just was like, all right, I'm gonna look at my next options. So I obviously got in contact with the Elks, and I didn't know about a neg list, so
Mhm.
I got put on their neg list. And then yeah, I got a CFL agent and I signed a contract.
So you were on that. See, this is something I didn't know. So you were on their neg list,
Hmm.
then you signed a contract.
Yes.
See, now I first became aware of it. Your dad was so excited that you were being signed
I
by
bet.
the Elks. He reached out to me, I think, that the day he found out and was just going on and on about it. I believe CFL.ca reported the Elks sign AB4. I'm assuming this CFL.ca is run by the Canadian Football League. I'm just guessing. I'm
That's
not.
a great guess. That is a very good guess.
I'm guessing. I'm just assuming. You know what they say when you assume.
And
I
just
know.
for posterity's sake, that article is still up, labeled December 8th, 2023.
December 8th. Thank you, Jake. So then you're prepared to move to the frozen tundra that we call Edmonton. Have you ever been there?
Edmonton? No, I have not.
Dude. See, we have this thing, Calgary and Edmonton. We live just outside of Calgary. Jake lives in Calgary. And Edmonton, they're the two biggest cities in Alberta. And there is such a huge rivalry that it's like you say Edmonton and you spit. It's that bad.
That's funny.
We call it the Battle of Alberta whenever Calgary and Edmonton play. Doesn't matter if it's CFL or NHL. So we're going to bug Edmonton. Anyways, I'm not going to bug them that much. But so you're prepared to move to Edmonton, carry on with your career.
Yes, sir.
And
And
what
then
happens?
so I signed my contract. I'm getting ready. I'm at the field running routes. I'm running up to the line of scrimmage. I've never done this before. I'm
Oh, of
practicing.
course.
So I'm practicing doing this. I'm excited. Like I'm 21 years old. Like I'm about to go to the CFL. Like I'm probably going to be the youngest player on the roster, if not one of. Um, and then 2 days later, my agent Rob Fry, he works with Gil Scott. I know he's an agent that's well known around there.
Yeah.
Um, he was like, "Yeah, buddy, I don't have good news." He was like, um, "The commissioner's not accepting your contract." And then I was like, "Why?" Is like there a reason why? And then he said, "I don't really." He said he didn't give an exact answer, but I will try to reach out to him. Like I'll try to call him and see what's up. So basically, it was he said because of what happened at Iowa. But I mean, I was like, so it's not even a legal thing. It's what happened to Iowa. Like, how does that even make sense? Like, that has nothing to do with the CFL. Because if
Well,
you think about it, like, if it was a legal side, I paid a $600 fine that was equivalent to a traffic stop. And there's probably, I mean, I don't know for sure, and I don't want to play the woe is me game. That's not how I am. But like, there's definitely probably guys who have got DUIs or some type of
Oh,
battery charges.
dude, I'm not going to name names, but I know for a fact there has been and probably still is convicted convicts
Exactly.
playing in the
not just
CFL.
not just that.
Ricky Williams.
Thank you. I was just going to bring up Ricky
Williams, who literally was
suspended.
Suspended. Thank you, from the NFL for drug charges. Came up here during his suspension and played.
That's crazy.
So when that's why I picked this story up to Arland. It was just one of those what the beep 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 beep, because nothing of it made sense. So I want people to know we did our due diligence. We heard the story. I confirmed it. I had a good friend of mine, Rod Peterson, reached out to the Elks head coach, Chris Jones, who was a very good friend of Rod's. And he said, yes, we had signed him. We were excited about bringing AB4 up here, and the commish killed it. Now, why? ... I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell a story about your dad. In 2018, your dad sued the CFL for post-concussion syndrome. Unfortunately, he failed. I remember it vividly, and I remember thinking, this is what needs to happen. Somebody needs to step up and say, you know what? When it was back in that day, we were forced to play. I mean, you got hit in the head. It was like, don't get out there. You got, come on, don't be a pansy. Get out there and play. That's what used to happen. Totally different story now. Do you think that they voided your contract because of that?
I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that there wasn't bias there for sure, you know? Like if I had a different name, you know, and maybe if like my name, maybe if I still had the last name, but maybe if my first name was different, maybe it would have slipped by, you know, but it's just having the same name. I think that just maybe like, you know, so
AB3,
AB4 was the commissioner there in 2018?
When did Ambrose start, Jake? Jake's going to be my Google.
I'm going to Google.
I want to say no, but he could have been.
Yeah.
But they would have been.
Is a quick Google search. I mean,
everybody knows who AB3 is. Yeah. It's not a secret. You mention AB3, people talk about the lawsuit. It was a big thing. It was. I still say, and I'll say it till the day I take my last breath, the only reason your dad is not in the CFL Hall of Fame is because of the lawsuit. Exactly. When you have 12,000 yards receiving, 2 Grey Cups, 4 All-Star appearances, how can you not say that's not a Hall of Fame career? There's only one reason.
June, or I guess it was officially announced 7 days later. So beginning of July 2017. So Ambrosi was the commissioner at that time.
Just saying. I'm not saying Randy Ambrosi is holding a grudge, because that would put me in a situation where people might be pissy with me. What I am saying is give us an answer. Like, don't just, you can't, you would look like a fool if you're going to come out publicly and state, we're not letting this young man play football because he got a $600 fine.
And this is something I did as a 18, 19-year-old kid, you know. I mean, I own up, like, I shouldn't have been doing it in the first place, you know. I mean, I'm not going to touch on, like, every account, like, I mean, was accredited towards me, but it's just, you know, it's a mistake that I made and I learned from.
And see, that part wasn't publicized where there was numerous people using that same account. Exactly. So it wasn't all your bets. But what I respect from you, Arland, is the fact that you said, yeah, I screwed up. I was a kid. I was a young adult. I made a mistake. We all make mistakes. It's a fact. But you made amends. You've changed your life. Tell us about how you've changed your life.
Yes, sir. So right now, I'm in Dallas, Texas. I'm training for Big 12 Pro Day. So I requested special eligibility from the NFL. So what that is for underclassmen. to be picked up by a team in the
So stop
NFL.
there. The NFL overlooks your $600 misdemeanor. Is it a misdemeanor? Was that?
Yeah, I mean it's not on my
It's a traffic. I've had bigger traffic tickets.
exactly.
It's insane. So the NFL said yes, you can go into the draft.
Yes, sir. And yeah, I mean obviously like I've been getting calls from like scouts this week, ever since the list dropped. And like they'll obviously they have to do their due diligence and they try to they want to know everything about you and they
Of
they
course.
ask about the situation and they even ask about like the CFL thing because obviously they do a whole background check and
Oh yeah.
they know everything about you. So they also the NFL scouts are saying like that's BS. Like it's crazy, isn't it? But I
It's
mean I'm a big man of faith and I believe that God is going to take me exactly where He wants me to go and this is a path that He has for me. I don't know why, but it's something that will be answered later on, and it will make sense.
that is something I saw, and I was really kind of humbled by it and taken back because you posted a video. I don't know if it was on Twitter or I think it might have been on Twitter that I saw it of you being baptized. Was that not just recently?
That was April 16th, 2023. Yes, sir.
So when you say you turned your life around, you've really turned your life around.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
You know what? I honestly believe everything in the world happens for a reason. If you weren't supposed to go to Edmonton because you have bigger things to do in the NFL, well, good on you. What's your dream? We talked about it off air. How old were you when you said in your head, "This is what I want to do. I want to play in the NFL"?
Around 5 or 6 years old.
That's insane to me. That's just literally insane that a 5-year-old said, I want to be in the NFL or playing pro football." You're on your way. Anything else you want to add?
Um, Really, I'm just grateful for all the people who have supported me through this. People who have been trying to help me out because obviously, like I couldn't the CFL Players Association because I haven't been in the CFL. They couldn't help me out, but I know there are some guys who reached out to me wanting to help, and then yeah, I appreciate Oklahoma State. They kept me on scholarship even when I wasn't practicing. They let their facilities stay open to me and let me eat, and
That's awesome.
Wow.
I'm just grateful to all Coach Gundy and all of Oklahoma State and everyone who's just been supportive and haven't turned their backs on me.
Well, you know what? I don't think I've ever paid attention to the NFL draft. You're going into the NFL draft in 2024, I take it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
When is
sir.
it? What's the date? Do you know the date? You probably know the date off the top of
It's
your
in
head.
April 27th to 29th.
yeah, April. Yeah, something around there. But I'm not even. I mean, I'd love to get drafted. I haven't even shown nearly what I can do. So I don't know if that's the case, but I would love if that is. But man, if I get the opportunity, I know I'm gonna take full advantage of it for sure.
I feel it. I won't go into what I do, and my in behind this BC Lions flag is all kind of plaques where I'm very spiritual. I feel you're going to do great things. You were meant to do great things. So we will be watching the NFL draft. At least I will be. I have a feeling we're going to hear your name more, if not at this draft. I think there's still something available in the CFL. I think people are talking. I'm going to say talking behind the scenes. And hopefully, I would love to see you freaking wearing a BC Lions jersey. none of this Edmonton Elks crap.
Yes, sir.
I would love it. Take after your dad. So keep in touch. Let us know how things are going, and we'll be watching. You got anything for him, Jake? Sorry, I kind of took over there.
No, this has been your thing. You've been doing all the legwork on this. I've just been here editing your sloppy grammar and poor spelling. No, honestly, this is a story that as soon as the old man sent it to me, I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like there's gotta be a reason. And there's not, it's not even like the CFL has announced that we voided the contract due to something. There hasn't been an ounce of PR from the CFL on this.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
haven't heard either. So then that's what's
like,
crazy.
it's the most shocking thing to me. I work in digital marketing. I work with different PR ideas. If you're going to do something like this, it's going to get out eventually, because they're not going to go to you and say, hey, you can't say anything. Shush, shush. What are they going to do? But how all they had to do was put out a tweet saying, due to circumstances that won't be discussed, this is it. Like, this is the reason. That's all they had to say to us to get a comment in the article we posted.
They wouldn't.
But
the Elks
not
did.
even the Elks did right away.
The Elks
Literally,
have been awesome.
The Elks within an hour replied to us saying, hey, appreciate you reaching out. No comment. Talk with the CFL head office.
Which is what I expected, because
100%.
the Elks had nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
What kills me, Arland, is, for me, it was a simple Google search. I found out everything that you talked about with the underage gambling. Everything was within seconds, literally seconds. I was able to go, bing, there it is. Then I went, contract voided, CFL. Nothing. Zip.
Nothing.
Zero.
And I noticed, I know some articles of me signing to the Elks are still up, but I noticed a lot of them were deleted. I don't know which ones, but I noticed a couple were. I don't know if I'm still on the roster on the CFL website, but
I didn't look.
Yeah,
that would be an interest.
Yeah, I was. I don't know if I still am.
I hope you took a screenshot of it so you could say I was on the roster.
No, I didn't. I have the contract.
You have the contract, dang it.
Yeah, I have the contract, man.
Dang. Well, you know what? Again, everything happens for a reason, Arland. So bigger and better. I can feel it. Keep in touch. Thank you so much for having the courage to come on live with us and tell us your story. I appreciate it.
Sure. Well, I appreciate y'all letting me get on here and tell my story as well. So keep doing what you guys are doing as well.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it.
We'll be in touch.
Island.
Yes, sir. You guys too. Take care.
What a cool young man.
Yeah.
Whew. Arland Bruce III. You've got a cool son.
I did bring it up while you guys were talking. I didn't get a chance to bring it up, but yeah, Arland Bruce III in chat watching. Just great job, son. Just a very humble. Again, like you said, took blame for what happened and said, it's on me, shouldn't have done it. But also, I look at it from a Canadian perspective. 18, 19, you're gambling. That's legal here in Canada.
Well, yeah.
Did
he make a mistake? Was he betting incorrectly when he shouldn't have been
100%.
On the wrong teams? Yes. 100%. He admits it. He said it while he was here. Compared to what some of these people who are playing our game have done. And again, I'm not saying they shouldn't. People, you got to understand, I'm not saying they shouldn't be in the league. They should be in the league. Whether they're ex-con, they paid their time. They did their time. They paid their fine.
Friend of the show, friend of ours, Rod Peterson said it. The CFL used to be the place of second chances.
Yes.
What happened?
Hatred happened.
Hurt. All it is hurt feelings.
You can't tell me, we've come up with this new rule about gambling and we don't want anybody involved. Well, then don't have a effing betting company as your sponsor.
Take off all Bet99 sponsorships and all the money away from the CFL. Easy as that. If you want to distance yourself from betting, I get that. I understand. But then you have to take the financial toll on that. Or come out and say it. Hey, we don't want Arland Bruce IV in the league because we disagree with what Arland Bruce III tried to do. And then you're making the son pay for the father's sins.
God forbid that you should have to pay for all my sins.
Oh God,
you'd be in trouble.
I'd be in jail forever.
So CFL, I know you have people listening. Reach out. We'll have you on.
I'd love to have a representative of the CFL on, even just for 5 minutes to explain their side of things.
Put it out there. Let us know. We reached out. We reached out 3 times.
4 times. One email. I sent an email, and then you've called 3 times.
Nothing. So, CFL, reach out. We're here. We love the CFL.
That's why we're talking about this. It's not because we want to, and I want to get this straight for everyone who might be listening, be like, oh, they're just shitting on the CFL. No, this is a league that I want to see succeed. And like, I was looking through while you guys are talking, just in case it came up to it. Like, there are players who were last year who are on the, like, the, what is it? I'm terrible with this wording. The special eligibility list.
Yeah.
In the 2023 draft that got drafted in the 3rd round. Like, it's not unheard of for a player to need special eligibility to get into the 3rd round and drafted. That's huge. That's yes. Like, oh, 3rd round, that's so far down. No, you're playing in the NFL position.
Yes.
Right?
Arland Bruce III says, what team do you see AB4 going to? Dude, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to guess or use my channeling abilities. But it's important. I'm going to put this up here. Because a big part of this. Let's get rid of the first part. For your information, my son was 10 years old when all this happened. 10! He was 10 years old when this happened. Come on, CFL. He wasn't 10 when the underage gambling. He was 10 when Arland Bruce took a stand.
And the reason it wasn't heard, and I've done a lot more research into the Arland Bruce because I knew what was going on, but again, it was
5 years ago.
6 years ago, yeah.
6 years ago, yeah.
And I can be honest about this. I had lost touch with the CFL for a long point at that time, especially all the extra news and everything. NHL really took over my main sport of interest. But the reason it didn't get into the Supreme Court of British Columbia is because the NFL, because it should be going through an arbitration case for the CFLPA. However, the CFLPA is the most unique and stupidly set up Players Association because it's not there to protect the players. Looking into everything that I'm reading, and I'd love to have someone come on and talk about this. This might be something that I'm doing another deep dive on in tandem with this, but there is no real collective bargaining agreement between the CFLPA and the CFL. Who is it there for then? If there's no CBA, who's it protecting?
Yeah. Who do they work for? Who pays them? Who knows? Anyway, this is a fluid story, folks. It's the first time I've done any type of investigative reporting, and I got to tell you, I freaking loved it. I'm loving this stuff. It's got my juices flowing, and anybody that knows me from my past, used to be politics. If I got my freaking teeth into a bone, I never let go. I was like a bulldog. So,
well, I want to bring this up. I hope Arland the IV is still watching, but a couple comments here in the chat from YouTube of just being like, hey, you're an incredible young man, and the CFL lost out on a great player due to their prejudice and bias. It's as simple as that. Literally, and I know for a fact the person who put this comment in has never watched you play a down of football. And they know just from the 25, 30 minutes we had you on that you're humble, you're respectable, and not only that, but you owned up to your mistake and you turned your life around.
Just
the
that's
CFL.
All you can ask.
Looking at this from a PR perspective, again, I always put on the PR hat. If you're the CFL PR, you're the Edmonton Elks PR. This is the story you should be running with. Well, we had a guy who made mistakes in his past. We saw him make a life change. The CFL gave him that chance.
Let's not forget who's up in Edmonton. We have probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, sorry, Arland, receiver ever to play in the CFL in Giroy Simon. I'm sure Giroy took a look at some of those tapes that AB4 was talking about and went, ooh, this kid's got something.
Yeah, I mean, again, you don't get a contract just because you have a name.
No, heck no. No. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. We're going to follow it. I promise you that. And we'll see. We'll see where it ends up.
not just that, but we're also going to follow Arland Bruce IV's career. I kind of want to make that a Hughes Sports highlight. Is once he signs, we talk about that. Kind of we spotlight him through for the first 5 years of his career.
He'll
Why not?
probably by the time he's in his second year, he'll probably forget who we are, and
No,
he'll be a
time of it-
superstar.
But by that time, we'll like given him the platform, then he can drag us up into superstardom levels.
What else are we going to talk about?
Let's stay on the topic of the CFL. I know you had it in things in different orders, and I kind of came in late today and screwed up. But the potential CFL changes.
Oh, we talked about that last week.
Did we talk about that last week?
Yeah, we just didn't delete that.
Okay, I was like, I thought we talked about it, but I don't know.
Yes.
However, there has been an update on it a little bit.
Oh, has there?
So there is talk about as we discussed before, about giving the ball at the 40-yard line. There's also discussion regarding taking a look at the XFL's kickoff. So this, if you're not aware, this was the XFL last year before they folded into the UFL with the USFL. They had a kickoff where only the kicker and the receiver were able to move until the ball was caught by the receiver. The defending team was lined up 5 yards apart from the defending team, and no one could move until the ball was caught. The theory behind this was it would still allow for explosive returns, exciting plays, and again, we think, I mean, I'm going to speak for myself, but I know for the old men, we think the kickoff return can be one of the most exciting plays in football. So it still allowed for those big returns, but it stopped a lot of those unnecessary injuries of people running full speed downhill and getting just blocked, a clean block, but getting your bell rung, or you're running and you all of a sudden you twinge something in your knee and you blow an ACL, an MCL, a hamstring. How many times have we seen that? Especially in the NFL, there's kickoffs. Why even have the kickoff? Because they just kick it through the end zone.
Yeah, it's kind of silly.
It's the highest percentage of injury to play ratio. Were you aware of
that? Yeah.
It is the highest injury to play ratio.
But I still like it.
But you still have the chance. If you have a big returner, like if you're with the XFL rules,
yes,
I think it's going to change the way it returns, and I think it's going to take a year or two for the teams to figure it out. But you're going to have set plays off of those returns eventually.
Oh yeah.
Right. And this doesn't work. Let's try this. And you want to see a reverse off of a return? You got so much more options with everyone being 5 yards apart. You can pull a guy back and around to run that reverse. To me, it would make things a lot more interesting than just saying 40 or a kick.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about it last week, but 40. We talked about it with Arland before the show, and he said 40.
40? Are you crazy?
Are you crazy? And we're like, yeah, we're thinking like 25. He's like, even the 30 would be pushing it. So
exactly.
Anything else in the CFL world before we jump into?
No, I'm good.
All right.
There's not much happening in the CFL right now. The general managers meetings are over. It's kind of that lull. I'm sure every camp is busy, trying to prepare for 2024.
Yep.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. First in the league.
Yes.
For your Vancouver Canucks, who are playing later today. We'll get into kind of a preview of the game. This is why I'm kind of trying to move things along a little bit quicker. So if things feel normally rushed, it is because there is a hockey game that starts just after 8 o'clock. So basically what I want to do is turn the next 25 minutes or so into a pregame for the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Blackhawks at home. A Blackhawks team that doesn't include Connor Bedard, which is quite upsetting. Should have been his return home to Vancouver, playing against his childhood team, but
stuff happens and
completely clean hit.
Stuff happens and it's unfortunate. What I hate, don't get me wrong, there's nothing about the Chicago Blackhawks that I like. Nothing. Zero. Patui. When I say their name, Patui. Yep. So they're limping into Vancouver. Let's face it, they're hurting.
Yeah, they have a lot of injuries right
They
now.
have a ton of injuries. I don't feel bad for him. I'm sorry. I don't. I hate him. So we are going to destroy them.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's just this. The only issue I have is this could be one of those games where
we
we're
take it for
first in the league.
granted.
We're first in the league. We have a 99.9% chance of making the playoffs.
Say that again.
Which one? The fact that we're first in the league by points, third by point percentage, and a 99.9% chance to make the playoffs.
Think about that for a second, folks.
We came into this year with a 51% chance to make the playoffs.
Jake and I came into this year. I bet you if we go back, and I'm going to see if I can task Jake to find that clip. Not now, but before next week.
Yep.
Where we talked about predictions for this year, coming into this year. And we both said, if we make the playoffs, that's huge. Massive.
I don't think we said it was huge or massive. I think that was the goal for this year. The goal this year was just to make the playoffs.
Make the playoffs. That was success.
Yeah,
that was our words. Was success. In my head, when I was saying that, I'm like, we got as much chance of making the playoffs as I do of winning $1 million. So I might win $1 million in 2024.
I was just going to say that sounds good to me.
Why would it sound good to you?
Well, because you're old and you're gonna sooner or later. So I'm all I'm saying is I'm gonna inherit the smart investing you do after we blow like $200,000 in Vegas.
Wow, he's freaking waiting for me to die, folks.
Hey, look, if you've got a couple $1 million in the bank, I'm not gonna be heartbroken when.
Wow, seriously, Jake, you're such a douche.
What can I say?
Anyway, what were we talking about before you killed me off and took my money?
The Canucks being better than we could have ever imagined.
99.9% chance to make the playoffs.
I'm going to look that up. It might be higher than that.
It might be 100% now.
Actually, there might be an extra 9 attached to that.
But in all honesty, I mean, we talked about it numerous times. What is success now? If they're not making at least 2-3 rounds, if they don't make it by the second round, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Now, to do that, and again, we keep talking about it, but Kuzmenko, the game, not the last game against Toronto, the game before that against Arizona, he did not look good. Not only did he not look good, he got a total of 0 minutes and 0 seconds in the third period. So it's not just media and it's not just fans pointing at him and saying, you look bad. It's the coach.
Well, the coach has been saying it since game 1, really. He's been on his butt. Actually, that's not true, because the beginning of the season, he started out playing okay. I was going to bring this up, and I was going to ask you your opinion of this theory of mine.
I'm listening.
When he got hit in the head with a puck, do you remember that? Got hit in the jaw, I think it was.
Yep.
I wonder if we go back and take a look at his points prior and then points after. Is there a correlation there?
No.
Nothing, eh?
No. He, like, and I can say wholehearted confidently, it was the same. We were having the same conversations before he got hit with the puck.
Oh.
I don't think it's a scared of injury. I don't think it's a scared of re-aggravating something that could be that. I just think that under Bruce, which is where he saw his most success, there was no structure. There was no defensive ownership. There was nothing.
He could do his figure skating on the ice.
And it worked because everyone was doing it. Everyone was playing selfish hockey.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. And it sounds like it's a bad thing. It wasn't. It works for Bruce, and it does work for Bruce.
For an infinite period of time.
Yeah. I mean, look at his win-loss record. He's way more wins than he does losses.
Yeah.
In the regular season.
Yeah.
Then Rick
that
Tocchet
kind of hockey doesn't fly in the playoffs, obviously.
Exactly. And it's 100% been proven. Like,
yeah.
But Rick Tocchet comes in, and you can even see it in the tail end of last year once the system started getting put in place. Kuzmenko's numbers started to go down.
Simple.
He's not a player who can play well under Tocchet's system, which is fine. There's many players who have played well under one coach and terrible under another. It's not the first time it's happened. It's not the last time it's happened. But what can the Canucks do with him now? Because
and I've said it before, and I don't know if I've said it on air or I've just said it to you. At this point, we have $6 million. Is that his cap hit? 5 point something?
I think he's 4.5. I'm going to look it up right now.
I think it's 5 point something because I keep saying $6 million man sitting on the bench. It doesn't work. It's not worth it. That's $6 million that we could cap room.
5.5 and sign for one more year.
Right. So we got to trade him. We really,
but what the problem is,
he might play very well for another team. I think the guy that I was going to call him a kid because he's way younger than I am, has a career. It's just not in Vancouver.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because I think I was just saying, and I think it's unfortunate because I really do. I like the player. I like from all sounds and everything. He's a very jovial guy, like very great in the locker room.
He's not a cancer.
No, it's just he's not working on the ice, and that's the most unfortunate part. It's so easy to hate a player if he's a bad teammate or something like that, but he plays well on the ice, so we can overlook it. I think it's even harder to look at a player and be like, "You're a great dude. You're great in the locker room. You're fantastic." It just we're working with a puzzle here, and your piece is shaped like a square, and we need a triangle.
Your piece is shaped like a square, and we need a triangle.
Square, and we need a triangle.
He's cute guy, folks. He's cute.
I'm sorry you don't understand basic geometry, but that's a square and a triangle.
I didn't see you do the square first.
Yeah, you were looking at your phone. The problem is now what do you get for him? Because he's a distressed asset, so you can't just. It's not as simple as trading him for another player of his ilk.
No, I think what you got to do is package him. I think you this is going to be a package deal where is it him and Chaos Giraffe? I'm going to bring him up twice.
You're not trading Tyler Myers with Carson Soucy out. I'm sorry.
Unless you're getting a defenseman.
No, you can't.
Why not?
That defenseman's then replacing Carson Soucy. You're not replacing Tyler Myers and Carson Soucy. I'm sorry.
You can.
You could. It's not going to be easy.
You can't.
It's doable. It's a bad idea.
I didn't even get to finish, and you kept me off.
Sorry.
So, if you package Kuzi with the Chaos Giraffe and a pick, what do you get? Can you go to the Flames and say Lindholm and Tanev? Will that be enough?
To be fair, that's a huge ask. That's a huge ask for 2 rentals. You're getting 2 rentals. Yes, it is.
Well, I could understand you saying that about Chaos Giraffe. I'll get back to him later. But for Kuzmenko, we're scratching.
Kuzmenko, for the deal I'm looking at and the way you're presenting it is basically Kuzmenko and a pick for Lindholm. And then Myers and Tanev as a swap. So let's take out Tanev and Myers for right now. So you're telling me that you think a distressed asset that's being scratched and a second-round pick that I don't even think we have? I just want to take a look at our draft picks.
Probably
we have a first-round pick and a third-round pick, 2 fourths.
There you go. So let's say, don't give away the first. Let's say the third.
And?
Maybe a prospect.
Podkolzin and...
No, not and.
You're looking at it as if you're trading an asset that's worth something.
There's no ways.
You're looking at it as if you look at the asset of Kuzmenko as a negative asset. So
but he's
he is. He's scratched. He is scratched. You're trading him. You're trading him to a team that is not rebuilding. To Calgary.
Yeah, but he could be rebuilding.
No, you're not rebuilding. You can't be rebuilding. Not if you're trying to the team.
They're not the team. So that's off the board, remember? Cease and desist.
I ceased and I desist. But
we got to find something for him. We're not going to give him away for a pick. We're not going to just give him away. We have to get a tangible asset for him.
This is my argument. We've seen Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford do this. What did we get?
Hold it. Brandon says we're literally building a new building. Rebuilding. Boom, boom, boom.
So we've seen, what did we get for Bo Horvat? Atu Ratu and a first round pick. And right? We turned that first round pick into Hronek. Why can't we do a deal like that?
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
And we got Beauvillier as a cap dump, right? We then traded Beauvillier to get the cap space and a pick to get Zadorov. So you say, oh no, we can't trade, we can't get rid of Kuzmenko for nothing. I think we can. I think if we get being completely honest, if we trade Kuzmenko and a third for future considerations, I think that's a win. With 0% retained, that's a win.
I think you need to stop taking those illicit drugs.
$5.5 million of cap space now on trade deadline.
And Brandon is commenting, and I hate when I say Brandon's making a point because Brandon just made a really good point.
Me and him talked about this earlier today, so I know exactly what he was going to say.
If we free up cap space for Pete.
Not even, see, he keeps saying Petey, no matter whatever Petey's number says, we're backing up the Brinks truck, giving him whatever number he says. He says 13.5 for 8 years. We put 13.5 for 8 years. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You're building the team around Pettersson's contract.
Yes.
But that $5.5 million now makes signing Hronek a lot easier.
Yeah.
A $7 million contract. Oh, that's only $1.5 million more than we already had on the books. Like,
yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Right? Like, getting rid of, again,
but who do you put into his space? Like, you just can't eliminate that spot. Who do you put in there?
Linus Karlsson.
We've
scratched him for 5 or 6 games. Yeah, we can, and we've won most of those games.
True enough. True. You got a point.
Right?
God, when you have a point.
Right? And then you can go out and then
hold on. Is it a full moon? You and Brandon just had a point on the same night.
I know. That's just because you're that out to lunch. And then you can go and look at someone like Adam Henrique from the Ducks, who has been rumored to be the Canucks have been interested in. $5.825 million for this year. So easily fittable within the cap. Right? Again, you're probably having to trade a prospect like Linus Karlsson and a pick to get him. But you're all in this year. That's what you're going to do. For you to be all in, for you to have this team at this point and to say, oh, we're not all in.
We have to be all in.
You have to be all in. So
and Allvin has come out and said, I owe it to the players who stuck with us and are playing their off. We have to go all in.
Yeah.
So we're pushing all our chips to the middle. Come April, it's go time.
So do you then go to Anaheim, who's their rebuilding team, and you say, here's a second round pick next year, and Vasily Podkolzin, who the team I don't think has given up on, but they're not giving him the opportunity that he deserves. And you say, and we take Adam Henrique for 50% of the salary. Or do you offer a first round pick this year? Like, really, a first round pick this year is a second round pick in every other year that we've had.
Yeah.
So first round pick and a prospect, just someone that they can plug into their lineup to keep them at their numbers. And they retain 50%. Well, now you've got $3 million, $2 million still to play with. You can go out and find a Tanev type player as another rental.
See, I keep going back to, I'd love to see Tanev come home.
I would too, but I think the cost from Calgary Flames to trade interdivisionally is going to be too high.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tanev's going to end up. Who was it that said it? Oh, it was Chris, your step brother, said that he was going to end up in Boston or New York. Which I
Wouldn't
could
be
see.
surprised.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised in a three-way trade that Calgary doesn't know about, and Hanifin ends up in Toronto.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
you can't be trading with Toronto, apparently, Calgary.
Just insane. Insane.
Um,
So we beat that horse.
Dom, I do not believe the Islanders. Sorry, I just want to bring this up. I don't think New York is in the Islanders. I believe New York is in the Rangers.
No, I think it was the Islanders.
I don't think so. I think the
No?
Islanders. I think the Islanders are looking at things and ready to blow it up. They just fired their coach. They just brought in Patrick Waugh. They need some big changes.
Wow. That came out of nowhere, eh? Nobody talked about that.
See, that's funny because Twitter earlier that day was all Lane Lambert watch on my Twitter, being like, that's how bad things were for the Islanders for him. And then it was literally, oh, that was quick. Didn't even last a whole day.
So Dom's asking if it's going to go to the Rangers, what? For what? I don't know what he's talking about. I've lost track.
Well, so Dom, there's two different trade scenarios where Toronto and Calgary can't trade. So I think Hanifin was linked to Toronto before all of that came out. Yeah. Then there's the Tanev to the Rangers. I don't know what the ask would be for something like that. I would assume a draft pick. I'm assuming they'd be happy with a second round draft pick and a prospect.
Yeah.
Or a third round and a prospect. I don't know though. Just hearsay. Old man. We're gonna have a really shitty last week and a bit of January here for your prediction to be right.
I know.
Because I told you 9-3-1 was absolutely insane.
You said there's not a chance they're gonna go 9-3-1.
Here we are. Here we are, January 22nd. And we're currently 8-1-1, and I look ahead to the Blackhawks, the Blues, and the Blue Jackets, and we might be 11-1-1.
It could very well be, right?
What a run this team has been on.
At least, my new prediction is 10-1-2.
10-1-2. I'm okay with that.
I'm amending my prediction.
I am totally okay with that.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. We go every month, go 10-1-2.
Again, we got to remember, we're not going to do this every single month.
You know what?
Canucks fans, get your reality checks here in. We're not gonna go this hot throughout every single month.
We've been saying that since the start of the season.
100%.
Can't keep up this pace. We can't keep up this pace.
But we didn't
keep up this pace.
Look at December. We didn't keep up the pace.
December was the only month we didn't.
Correct, but not 10. Not again. 9-3-1 would be keeping up a pace that would be unfathomable. 8-1-1 is a pace that's unfathomable. So maybe you're right. Maybe it is one of those. Yeah, we can keep up this pace. This is how good we are. But maybe it's just me being like, we can't always be expecting this level.
When we look at it, when we break the season down, we're at the end of January. We only got 3 games left in January. Then we have February, March, and April.
Yeah.
And only part of April. Huh?
Yeah. I said only a couple.
I think there's only 3 or 4 games in April, is there not?
I'm looking it up right now. Sorry, I had it open and now I think I opened up something.
Obviously, we're getting close here. We've only got 2 months left in the season. We've played 46 games.
Okay, to the end of April. April 18th. April 18th is our last game.
Middle of April. Okay. So we got 2.5 months left in this season. Why can't we continue this pace?
I don't know. Like that's the thing. There's no reason why we can't. Yeah. But there's always that voice as a Canucks fan with Canucks luck in the back of my head that says it's not going to happen.
Why can't it happen?
Because we're the Canucks.
Because we're the Canucks.
We can't have good things.
We're not allowed to have nice things.
We can't have nice things.
What do we play? We play 82 games? That's 82 right?
Games. Yep.
So we only have 36 games left.
Yeah, we're over that. We're well over the halfway point.
So Of the 36 games left, should we make a prediction for all 36 games? Should I throw a number out there for you?
I mean, be careful. If you throw a number out there, I'm going to hold it to you, and we're going to do weekly check-ins.
What if I said we're going to have 20 more wins?
So we're going to go 20, what and what?
20, 10, and 6. Oh, that's too high of losing in overtime. 20... 10 and 6. I keep saying it.
Okay, we're going
to have 20 more wins. That's my guess. Out of the 36, we're going to have... That's too low. I think we're going to go 25. I think we're going 25 wins.
So we're going to... In the last 36 games...
25...
I hate to argue with you, but I
8
can't.
and 3.
I can't argue with you because if you like point
25,
percentage,
8 and 3. Dom's did it to me because he said 23, 10 and 3. So I'm gonna say 25, 8 and 3. Put a boom. Take it to the bank.
So point percentage is a very big thing for me because it is
not 20 more. I said 25 more wins.
Let it update, old man. Let it update for you.
Oh,
give it a second.
There we go.
So if we get 50 plus 3, so 53 points out of how many games did we have? 36?
46. No, 36.
Our win percentage would be 736.1111 repeating. So that would be higher than ours is, but not by much.
No.
It's higher by a point where I can say I'm going to argue with you and say you're 20 13 and 3, you're 21, like that would have been more acceptable to me because I was like a 6, that would have been a 680, 690 or 695 or so, and we're at a 717 win percentage right now. So the 25 is the high end.
8 games are against Boston, Winnipeg, Colorado, and Edmonton.
Correct. And he has 8 losses on on the schedule. There'd be.
Let's go.
Problem is, if we lose to Winnipeg, Colorado, and Edmonton, that's a big problem for us.
Yes. Well, it's funny because, as you know, your cousin, my nephew, reached out and he has season tickets up in Edmonton, and he reached out and he said, "Hey, what do you do in April? Blah blah blah, whatever that game is." So I'm going to the game in April against Edmonton, which is one of those 8 games Brandon mentions.
April 13th.
And that could literally be a really important game when it comes down to it.
Well, looking at the Canucks schedule, and I haven't done this because I honestly thought there's no chance that these games would mean anything. April 2nd against the Golden Knights. April 3rd against the Coyotes, April 6th against the Kings, April 8th against the Golden Knights again, April 10th against the Coyotes, April 13th against the Oilers, April 16th against the Flames, and April 18th against the Jets.
Big.
That could literally, like all of those games, because I'm going to be assuming that the schedule makers did something smart for once, and all of those teams are also playing Pacific Division rival games. That could literally determine who's finishing where.
Yeah.
With a team like, whether it's the Kings, the Flames, or the Coyotes who aren't in the playoffs, playing that spoiler role.
Who gets hot, who stays hot, who doesn't.
Who gets home ice advantage, who doesn't.
Yeah.
Who's playing the Oilers in the first round? Who's playing the Golden Knights in the first round?
That's worst 2 teams that don't want to play in the first round.
To be honest, I don't want to play any of the Pacific teams in the first round.
No. I agree.
But I don't know who I want to play in the first round.
Unless somehow the Flukes squeak in and we finish first.
No.
I will take them in the first round every freaking time.
We've been through this. The last time we were in the first in the Pacific. We went through this the last time, and I cannot deal with that again. I cannot deal with losing to a Flames team that limps or surges into the playoffs as the 8th seed team to be defeated by them in 6 or 7 games.
Oh.
Because that's what's going to happen.
Shut up, Brandon. Just shut up.
But unless you have anything else we want to discuss.
No, we want to enjoy this hockey game.
Yes, and now I literally have the game up on my other monitor here. So the anthems are going as the Blackhawks are being hosted in Vancouver. Luckily, the snow didn't stop. Take your damn hat off during the national anthems. You're on TV. Take your hats off.
Oh, wow. This time it took an hour and 5 minutes for Jake to rant.
Okay, guys. I don't care which national anthem is playing. I don't care what hat you have on. I don't care if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a bi-gender, bi-neutral, ace gender. I don't care who the fuck you are. When a national anthem is going on, you stand at attention if you are able, and you remove your goddamn hat. It's not hard. It's the bare minimum of respect. You can take a knee if you'd like. You can take a knee. And I'm okay with that. You can take a knee. You can show defiance in almost any other way. But not having your hat on, and if your hat is on in defiance, fine. That's cool. I totally get it. But 99% of you who have your hats on are just too stupid to take your hats off. Take your damn hats off. Take a knee. Throw your hand in the air. I don't care what you do to protest. But show a little bit of respect. Well, if they can't sing the anthem properly, that's not our fault. The music's playing. Just listen to the damn music. You're inside!
And on that note, folks, till next week.
Have yourselves a beautiful night. I bid you adieu and good night.